Hello and welcome to the Social Recruiting Show. I am Katrina Collier. I am, of course, author of the Robot Proof Recruiter, owner of Banjo, who happens to be coming on screen right at the wrong moment, and a candidate engagement facilitator and speaker. I'm, of course, joined by my talented talent acquisition professional co-host, the one, the only, the amazing Mr. Glenn Martin.
Aloha.
Today, on special request from Simon Halkyard, we have a bit of a beard off by having Will Sims on the show.
Yay, welcome, Will.
I feel like I'm left out. We're going to talk about recruiting hacks and the ethics behind, and goodness knows what else. Dogs jumping into your lap when you least expect it.
Yeah,
welcome to the show, Will.
Thank you. Thanks for
welcome, Will, and that fantastic beard. Look at that. That's a beauty.
A lot of effort has gone into it today. Like, no, not on camera with you guys. Special effort.
Did you? You got out the straightening irons and
everything's attacked it. It's probably overdone, overcooked.
Man, it's a thing of beauty. That's all I can say. It is quite literally a thing of beauty, that beard.
Well, these things take a lot of work.
Yeah. I mean, there's definite beard envy going on here. I mean, mine's just like scraggly. I mean, seriously.
It's a lot of work. Anyway. Yeah, a lot of work.
Is that where you put your car keys when you go out and stuff?
Sorry?
Is that where you put your car keys when you go out and stuff?
You get a lot of stuff lost in there.
That's beardism, that is. That's beardism.
I walked right into it. Walked right into that one.
Oh, man. Well, I suppose we best learn a little bit more about you, Will.
Okay, that's well.
Will.
So how did
Bill for the rest
ask
of this
the question,
show,
Glenn, or I'm still going to go in and ask it.
Oh, right, okay. So, Will, tell us, how did you get into recruitment?
I got into recruitment completely by mistake.
Have we ever had a guest that didn't say that, which is seriously worrying?
Yeah,
that's a good start.
Yeah, like seriously, I applied for a job through, unknowingly to me, a friend's recruitment agency, and basically in the end he said, why don't you come and join us? Sold the dream to me. I got involved, and yeah, kind of.
Was this Office Angels or somewhere else?
Spring personnel, they were down the road from us, and I could see how that's confusing, but like it was Spring personnel.
That was Office Angels though, wasn't it?
It was green. We had the green logo.
So for those of you who are watching, wondering what the hell you just signed up for, of course Glenn and I back in the day were at Spring Technology, so there was always this real snobbery about Spring personnel, they're just Office Angels. It was dreadful. We were very, very mean. There was complete snobbery going on. We learned our lesson.
That's why I left. That's why I left Spring personnel. Yeah. It wasn't to do with the Adecco buyout or anything like that.
Nothing. No. It was just a corporate snobbery.
Absolutely. So how long did you stay? Like doing, I guess you're in temps or perm or something. Temps.
So I was on perm. I was on the perm side, and I was probably there for 2+ years, I think, off the top of my head.
Wow.
And then I ended up working for a client. That's how I got internal.
Okay.
Ooh, how did that go down?
It was all right, actually. It was okay. I was okay. I survived. We had all the kind of redundancies, through the recession and stuff like that, and so that was kind of a challenging time. And I think that's kind of when I started kind of looking at options as well. Kind of internal. It's something that I discovered whilst I was there. And it kind of made absolute sense. So kind of went and worked for a big corporate and learned loads, and haven't looked back since. Stayed. What
was it? Well, I guess it's just interesting. What was the kind of biggest thing, or the biggest change that you felt from kind of being agency side going in house? Just out of curiosity, but you remember back that those many years ago.
I think business development for one. I was awful. I hated it.
Me too.
I hated business development. I was almost.
To be fair, I still hate it.
I was always on email, and like when LinkedIn came out, I was on LinkedIn. That was like a savior for me. But I think it was more like HR focused, that kind of mentality, where, and I found that hard at the beginning because although I wasn't kind of sales focused, when you kind of work in that kind of agency environment, then you go internal and you just want to get stuff done. We don't care how we do it, just want to get it done, like make placements, and so I did struggle at the beginning to kind of get my head around that, but there's ethics behind kind of what we do, and you have to remember that. And so that was a learning curve. That was different.
And you own so much. Oh, go on, Katrina.
No, I just always think it's nice to like demystify that thing of in-house recruiters just CV shuffle, because when you're agency side, that's what they tell you. And when you suddenly are in-house, you're like, oh my gosh, it's so much more than that. Plus, you get to watch people grow, which is just really lovely.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. No, I agree. And I think I've always, but I still enjoy like working with the agencies, and I've tried to kind of not forget, because like we were once there, and and I think it's important to kind of remember that kind of most of them do a good job, and so that's voice.
It's tough, right? I mean, there's that saying where, or there was a saying where, in-house recruiters were failed agency recruiters, which I don't know where that kind of came from. But it
to be fair, they might have failed at BD, because we pretty well knows that we're hated BD.
Once or twice. I think I said that once or twice before, like, I'm never going to do that. And I did.
Yeah. But I think it's important, the point you make around kind of still respecting the fact that people agency side, right? Give them time because you were there once, right? It's just not using them just as a pick up and drop kind of service. Just people at the end of the day, they're still trying to do a job,
Yeah, no, definitely.
Actually, on that, so seeing we're talking recruitment hacks, this could be like a BD hack for the agencies. Yeah. I hear a lot of complaints about, oh gosh, look how this agency is making an approach. I mean, is there a way, because both of you are currently sitting in-house, that you like to be approached? Is there a way that they can stand out? Sorry, curveball Friday question. I wasn't planning.
No. I think I'll say one thing, and I kind of still see it now, where like, and we used to do it back in the day as well. So it's amazing how it hasn't moved on or evolved. Like, you still get people who they'll send you like an email, say with kind of a highlight career like role or something. Like, we've got marketing manager, 10 years experience. Would you like to speak to them? Like, it'll be like a list of people, and you don't know who they are. They could be fictitious people, but that, like, whereas I think they might think it works. To me, that's I want to see something more tangible. But I think what I think, I don't know, like, it might be corny, but I quite like it when if they reach out to me on like LinkedIn and they've made an effort to kind of go and look at like something that I've done before in the past, or a comment I've made somewhere. Like, and there's some people who have done that, and that's caught my attention. I even like a bit of humor as well.
Has anyone mentioned any kind of decorations or?
What I didn't. Whoa there, Katrina Collier. There is another.
You said have done your research.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. No one as much as like Glenn. No one as much as Glenn. Like, like that's years ago. But no one's mentioned the
would
Christmas
show that they've done their research.
No one's mentioned the Christmas decorations yet. If they did, they get an automatic buy-in. So if you're out there and you're watching and you want to buy in, Facebook. I can't remember how many years ago it was, but if you can find that picture and send it to me, you're in.
You're in. So how many times you're going to get emailed that on Monday now?
Great. I can't wait.
We won't tell him how many people watch this show.
We've just signed up with the agent.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
They're like, exponentially.
Exactly, yeah. They'll be like, this guy doesn't even want to see our T's and C's. He just wants to see a picture of himself, and he'll sign.
Do you know what I love? Is what you're basically saying is show some curiosity.
Yeah.
Because really, you want curiosity to engage with candidates and show you've had a look and done your research. And actually, the same of what recruiters should do to candidates. So
I was just going to say exactly the same thing, because they're setting the tone then. But I know already that that's in their mindset. That's how they think. That's how they do things. I'm not saying it's the only thing, but it just helps.
And how about where they approach you? Are you just like, it has to be an email, or are you like, someone sends me a video via Facebook, I'm okay, or Twitter DM, which I personally hate, so please stop Twitter DMing me.
I think most of it's kind of LinkedIn and email, and I'm fine with that. I think when it's by phone, it can seem quite it's interruptive. I know like it's part of the role. I get it, but it kind of often feels you've got a day job and you're typically busy anyway, like anybody else is, and then the phone rings. And it kind of throws you off. I know you could not pick up the phone, but you just never know who's calling, do you? So I think that's the only thing I would say. That's me personally. I prefer that, and it kind of gives me time to kind of check that, look them up, check them out, and go back, and
And certainly because you're where you are at the moment, you're like the only in-house recruiter, right? So you're managing You're kind of managing everything, and I think that's sometimes when kind of recruiters contact you and they're like, "Oh, let's meet for coffee." You're like, if I had time, half an hour for a coffee in a day, seriously. And they almost want to jump to that point straight away. I understand why, because if they get FaceTime, then effectively it helps to build the relationship. But it's tough carving out half an hour, right, in a day when everything, and they know they're kind of desk side, right? It's fluid. Things just continue to keep moving.
I think it's even tougher when people don't realize you work remotely. So I get up. I'm like, it would take me an hour to go up to town to have a coffee with you to come back. That's a half a day gone. I'm just not. I can't. I just can't do it.
Yeah. I'm the same. Like 2 days a week, I work at remote. So and I think I think that's kind of like a big thing. And I personally for me, like I never. Like even if it's like now doing like bits and pieces like for myself, like I never go in with the sell first. Always try and kind of build a relationship or ask questions. So at least you can kind of start the conversation. But I think
look at sorry, Trish has just written something I might find a little. Actually, hang on. Do you know what I haven't done? I haven't gone what our show topic is, have I? Dun, dun, dun. We're talking the problem with recruitment hacks. We're already talking about them. So just so that I've shown it at some point through the entire show. Right. So hang on. Well, I've lost my comments now, but there are they. Trish just wrote something really interesting I've never heard of. Use Spiderfoot to find out more info on hiring managers once you have their email. I wonder if that's just a US centric one though.
Wasn't there like something else called like, I can't remember, it's like someone's name, like where you could check people out. I was going to say it's like
people, PIPL.
No, like someone's name. Like I think it was like Dave or something like that. But you could go and literally, it would look at people's kind of like their kind of. I think it would look at their cookies, so you could kind of see like kind of where they've been, what they've done, what they like, and all this stuff. So you could kind of check them out like before. I can't remember what it's called now. It might not even exist anymore. But definitely stuff like that.
It is quite creepy. Have you seen the thing going around Twitter at the moment about Twitter has decided what you like based on all of this stuff? Toby Colshaw shared it earlier, and I clicked on mine, and it literally will go, she's a single female, blah, blah, blah. She's earning £10,000 to £15,000. And I'm doing the maths going, the household, actually worse, sorry. The household
per
income.
day.
No, the household income is £10,000 to £15,000. And I worked out our household before food needs £15,000 just to physically be in the building. And you're just going, what? Where on earth have you come? Sorry. So sometimes the creepy can be off.
But for tax purposes, you can just say, just check out my Twitter profile.
Tax purposes, I earn nothing.
Point HMRC there.
Yeah.
I mean, no corporation tax needed here, folks.
No, thank you. Moving right along. No, anyway.
So technology.
Hacks. Right.
So
let's define it. Can we define it? Like everyone talks about these hacks. Have we just picked up some random term from technical people, or?
I see. Like although I use the word hack because it's kind of like it's kind of like universally. It's kind of recognised. But I think I'm in two minds about the term hack because it kind of, whilst like it's used everywhere, but it's a shortcut, right? It is a shortcut. You're essentially shortcutting a process, whether that's automating something or in another way. So I'm careful to kind of use it because I don't want it, because you've got those kind of growth marketers. Black hat, black hat kind of growth, term heavily used for them. So,
and I also have this theory that so even LinkedIn, as much as everybody knows, I don't exactly like them very much. At the same time, I feel like they've built the network up. They've gathered all that data. They've attracted all the people. Isn't it kind of wrong to like scrape all that information, even though of course it breaches your terms and conditions and you shouldn't do it anyway? But a lot of people kind of promote this kind of stuff, and I'm curious about the ethics behind it. Kind of going, we didn't create that data.
Because isn't there like a new site that's like set themselves up as like a kind of a LinkedIn spin-off?
Really?
The wiki something.
That one. So they're like, everyone's saying, where did they get the data from? So they've got more members of LinkedIn, and So, but I think I'm trying to remember the name of it, but I don't think scraping is a kind of a grey area. Again, I'm kind of nervous about kind of scraping information, especially nowadays as well, GDPR. especially when people where do you get from?
Or Cambridge Analytica,
Massive. Yeah, massive.
Around that. But Will,
do you want to explain what you mean by that comment to anyone who might know what you're talking about, Colin?
Cambridge Analytica? Well, as in what they did around data hacking and scraping lots of data off of Facebook, and then effectively, perhaps they haven't been brought to trial that I know of in relation to influencing certain elections, both in the US, globally. Maybe even a referendum in the UK. We could get into some really contentious area here, but I
but I just thought it was nice for anyone that's watching who doesn't watch the news, just
exactly. But this is the thing, right? So Will, certainly one of the reasons why, the first connection we had was around kind of chatbots, right? I remember, the first conversation we had, and you'd kind of built your own chatbot, and you were kind of playing around with kind of tech to try and differentiate both yourself in terms of brand. But equally, different candidate experiences through using tech. So, I mean, just maybe walk us through some of the stuff that you've done that kind of worked and was quite fun, and some
lessons
of the
learned. What you wouldn't do again.
Yeah,
they're the best.
There's loads of stuff I wouldn't do again, like outside the chatbot.
Work at Spring Personnel. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, well, depending on what side of the fence you're on.
So long ago.
Yeah, I know, it's a blur.
Not as long as Papa Smurf, who deserves a shout out.
Oh yeah, Ray Murphy's Law 2021, ladies and gentlemen, the expose on the recruitment industry.
Is that when he's retiring?
I don't think Ray will ever retire, to be fair. He's a spring chicken. But anyway,
back to lessons learned.
Chatbot lessons learned. Yeah, because I think it's like back in like 2016 or like 17, I built this like chatbot. It was just purely fun. I don't know if you guys use it, but I use Product Hunt all the time for like inspiration. And someone popped up talking about chatbots, and they built something. So I was like, oh, cool. Everyone's building this for business. No one's built their own, so why not? So I built that, and that was kind of interesting because it was kind of like, I thought at the time that like LinkedIn profiles, CVs and stuff were pretty flat and less dynamic and all this, so I just thought, kind of this bot can kind of chat to people and tell them about me. But I think, I still, he's, or it is still about, and but it's evolved much more, and he's kind of like my experimentation. So like now he onboards people.
Your bot's male.
Sorry?
The bot is male.
Yeah, it has to be.
That's cute.
Male.
Can't be gender neutral robot.
Yeah, it's like, that's it. Yeah, it's pretty low maintenance though. Pretty low maintenance as far as like and stuff go.
Doesn't take the trash out, do the washing up, put the toilet down.
That's the only thing. Pretty lazy in that respect. Just sits there talking to people all day long on the internet. But like now, like sort of, he onboards people to like my Facebook group. So he asks them questions, kind of pre-qualifies them. All of that data gets dumped into spreadsheets. So then I can kind of revisit that and learn from that. And that helps me. It was at the beginning anyway, to kind of like target things for the group and things. So it's great from like to kind of find out what people were interested in if they were, joining the group and stuff.
So what is your Facebook group?
I'm Recruitment. So it's called Recruitment, and
as in UN.
So UN
unconference.
Unrecruitment.
Like unconference, that's it. Yeah, like a conference.
Yeah. How do I not know about this group? I feel like I've missed something somewhere.
I don't know.
I want to go play with the robot, and I'm in the middle of a show. It's like,
so they're playing with Simbot.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, no, it's been a good experience. And I learned a lot. That's when I got into automation. That's when I learned a lot about automation. And that's when I could, when I started playing around with that kind of the tech, because I'd always been into internet sourcing.
Banjo has his own Instagram channel. Actually, he doesn't. He really should. So he pops into every show because the show runs at about his walk time. So it's like,
take me out.
Yeah. Sorry, it's very distracting.
Will, what kind of automations have you found work really well in respect that people kind of engage with it, or has helped you kind of I guess time efficiency, that sort of thing? Because there's always a danger when you automate, you're almost taking a step away from maybe the person that you kind of want to engage with.
Yeah, I think so. A recent example, the company that I'm working at the moment. So like what we were talking about earlier, like being a one-man band. So like I'm a one-man band at the moment. So I built these guys just a very simple bots, because we do a lot of graduate recruitment.
Yeah.
Cool.
So we would go to like careers fairs, and then we would do it running our own events as well. So we wanted something which we could use to kind of like onboard people to us, kind of for discovery purposes, like the top funnel, the top funnel kind of discovery stuff, and content generation as well. But the main purpose of it was people were scanning a QR code. It would start the bot up. They would have a quick conversation about the bot. The bot would go, right, we're running events in these areas. Would you be interested? Then it would kind of take their details again, kind of drop it into a spreadsheet, which we could then kind of use later for kind of just dumping into like an ATS or something like that, or for other purposes, because we were asking the questions to kind of get feedback on what they were interested in, learning before they came to the event. But the main purpose of it was to kind of remarket to people as well, to continue to nurture them. Again, because I was like only one person, it's very difficult to kind of en masse, contact people. So it was
aware when they scanned the QR code they were chatting to a bot? I mean, you were like really upfront about it.
Yeah.
So will bot
always. So like I think that's the biggest thing. I think there's the one thing that I've learned anyway is that you straight away, but whenever anybody's like kind of onboarding to say like a bot or a virtual assistant, you tell them straight away, I am a virtual assistant, I'm a bot, whatever you want to call it. And this is how to interact with me. So they know straight away. But we got some good feedback. We got some good feedback, and it was kind of an interesting experience. But we're still able to nurture them and still drip feed content, because, like like on your phones, I've got people now like on my phone that are pinging up, speaking to the bot students now that are like wanting to kind of discover kind of more about us. So from that point of view, it's very good. From a marketing point of view, it's good.
Yeah, that's cool. That's a great idea.
Certainly when there's volume. I don't mind that.
Yeah. So now, give us an example of what didn't work. Because look, you're probably downplaying a bit. I mean, you've done a lot of stuff, building websites, building content, building bots. Certainly from an experimental perspective, you've done a hell of a lot, man. So, is there any stuff in there that you kind of like thought would work really well, but just didn't deliver the value that you wanted?
Yeah, there's I use Zapier a lot. Zapier a lot to kind of link up platforms, tasks, things like that. So like right where I am now, like we haven't got an ATS, we're using Trello. So they went from like a spreadsheet to Trello, and that kind of served as kind of like our ATS. But to kind of power it up, I use like Zapier and Google Forms and Google Sheets and all sorts to kind of automate people as they were kind of going through the steps of the recruitment process. They would get like an email to say, you're kind of in the telephone interview stage, and it was all personalized as well. You're in the telephone interview stage. They would use Calendly to kind of book an interview in and do all that. But with all of this kind of experimentation, like you say, that there's kind of, you always come up with issues. And certainly when you're kind of like automating things, you have to be really careful, because I think like the other day I had like an auto email set up for when somebody moves into a particular section of the recruitment process, but they shouldn't have got like an email that they got.
That was the email that started, hi, first name, and here's your feedback from the hiring manager. Unfiltered.
Yeah, basically. You're awful. Like,
worst candidate I've had all year. Delete.
So that can happen. And you have to be really careful. I think that, so that was kind of like whilst it'd been going great and like all of this stuff had been happening, and I was able to concentrate on the kind of more of the kind of the TA function, if you like, rather than the kind of delivery and the kind of top level stuff, repetitive stuff. But that happened. But luckily it wasn't too embarrassing. It was kind of retrieval.
Going to the human side of that, you're an experienced recruiter. How did you handle that? Because I think there's a lot of head in the sand. Let's not handle it. And I assume you did.
Called them straight away.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
So I answered the phone going, yeah, thanks for that, Will. And give us an idea of what you said. I know this sounds ridiculous, but there's a lot of people out there who'd rather not have that call.
Yeah. No, I think it was clearly an apologetic email, phone call. Yeah, it had to be. Personally, I didn't go into too much detail because we had a chat on the phone, and I guess I was trying to kind of be as personable as possible. So it kind of, look, this happened. It was a mistake. You shouldn't have got the email. And to be honest, the email alone was all like it was. You're now in the telephone interview stage. Can you put the time in? And they shouldn't have been in that stage, for whatever reason. Cool. So it was like, well, we've just made a mistake here. Like, hang on, but actually, whilst we're on the phone, let's have a chat. And so it turned into kind of more of a discovery call. Anyway.
Sounded human.
You have to.
Gave them some coaching while you were there. Solve problem in 20 minutes.
Like the damn ATS sent you an email. Shouldn't have done.
Yeah.
Love
Were
it.
you able to give them a bit of feedback then? So just as to effectively why they weren't progressed to the next stage, because that's valuable in itself, right? You may be disappointed in not going forward, but if you get some feedback, that's payment for your time, right?
That's one thing we're like massive on, like where I am now, like feedback, even internally feedback, like after meetings and things like that. So I was able because that was a great thing that I could just have a chat with them and say, look, this happens, but look, it's not going to work at this time for whatever reason, but let's keep in touch and connect on like whatever.
Got a little question for you from the Michael Cruz. Do you have these automations outlined somewhere? Would that be in your unrecruitment group where he could find out more about that?
I'm going to be doing more. Do you know what? Actually, and I've probably been.
I just feel like Michael's hacking the hack there.
Yeah. So
exactly.
And this is like something. Actually, this is something I've been like thinking about for a while. Is kind of making more video content, and it's probably more me until, but just kind of sharing my kind of experiences. So yeah, absolutely, Michael. I think Michael's in the group as well. So
I bet he is. He loves a hack.
So that's something I'm going to be doing, like more videos. Even I think how I'm going to kind of do it is just kind of do snippets, short snippets. This is how you do this. This is how you can do that. Because it's all stuff that I've learned in this job. Because I've been an army of one, I've had to kind of figure out ways of kind of working smarter.
On that army of one, you mentioned that feedback is really important, and we know why. Obviously, I read a whole book. If you don't know why, how are you gathering it? If it's just you, I'm just thinking all the times, and it was just me, and I just like get overwhelmed and forget stuff. Actually, I do that now. But has there been an automation you put in place for that to make sure you pick it up, or?
No, I did think about it. But
I mean, from your hiring managers more than.
Do you know what? Like, it's kind of like an interesting question, because this is something that I've been like, and I think I answered a question on LinkedIn similar to this. Like, whilst I think like automation is great, I think people and kind of I'm talking probably more about AI here, but people aren't quite ready yet, or the products probably aren't. What influencers, press makers say they are, and I think, and for that reason alone, my mess up, earlier, like on the automation, that's a prime example of that it's not. Whilst it serves a purpose and it's doing a great job, it's not quite ready. You can play. There are things that you can do, but I think internally. I guess I'm lucky because the company that I work in, are 35 people.
Oh, awesome.
It's very easy.
You just walk over, stand in front of Glenn, hand it over.
Give me feedback. Literally just give me feedback. Yeah. Or it's
right now.
Email. Yeah, or it's an email, rude email, or Slack. Yeah, but I think that's
I like the idea of Will walking over and standing there like, really? I want it. I like that version. Just appeals to my irreverent side.
with his Christmas beard. Give me feedback.
Look, I just said decorations. You went and shared the entire thing.
Basically,
I'm looking forward to knowing how many emails he gets on Monday.
We're both in the can of worms. It's interesting you bring up the AI thing, because if you've heard any of the previous shows, I'm forever going like the data in is not great, so we're just data in, data out.
A simple thing on that. So you look at the kind of ATSs, right? And when you do the auto respond email, it pulls down how somebody's typed in their name. Now, if somebody's typed in their name in block capitals for whatsoever reason, they get their name back to them in block capitals. And you just kind of think to yourself, immediate, instant, that's not personal whatsoever. So even those simple things in a current ATSs, they can't seem to get that right, parse that across in a way that actually makes it personal. So until they can make those simple fixes, you know what I mean?
I embarrassed myself on LinkedIn with that. So when I added the advisor role, so I'm advising the founder of Radical Recruit. Go and have a look what they're doing. Awesome stuff. And I added stupidly, I've got this new position. Oh my goodness, right? So all of the messages are coming through. Thank you, Katrina. Congratulations. Blah blah blah. So I just hit the thanks, and it was like, thanks Williams bracket Will. Gotta get sent through, and I'm like, oh, how embarrassing. So my next one was, note to self, do not hit the automatic response from LinkedIn. I felt like such a twit. And I even saw it and still hit it. You're like going,
it's kind of like sending an email that you wish you hadn't sent, right?
Yeah.
So, it's that
you can't delete those LinkedIn messages.
No. And I wish Gmail would add the ability to claw back an email after you sent it. I think they give you
like immediate recall, instantaneous, no.
But
I tell you what, Will, we were talking before the show. You kind of focus a lot on sort of product hunt and stuff like that. Have you seen any really cool stuff coming through that you're quite keen to either try or are in the process of kind of messing around with at the moment, sort of trialing?
I'll be honest, not recently. I'll be honest. I haven't seen anything that maybe I think I could use. I think there's versions of Zapier coming out, like different versions that people are rebuilding, like kind of API or kind of the ability to kind of webhook and things like that. But I'll be honest with you, I haven't seen anything sort of recently. I tell you something I have been using though, just on because I always forget stuff, right? So I'm always forgetting stuff. So I need a second brain, a digital brain to store stuff. So I found this cool platform called Notion.so. Don't know if you guys have heard of it yet. So basically it's kind of like an all-in-one platform, Excel spreadsheets, notes, tasks. You can list jobs on there. I think it was on DBR. I discovered it on DBR because somebody had used it to kind of, so you could kind of discover and learn more about their company. So it's kind of like their brain, which they kind of were using. So it kind of stores information. So it kind of looks a little bit like it's a kind of a cross between kind of like Trello and like a notepad.
Wicked.
That's quite cool. That's kind of so everything. If I had something for Product Hunt, it would go in there.
Do you think though the whole, it's a bit like me running my own business, isn't it? You running the entire recruitment department, and I find I'm interrupted so much. So it's like I will go off to do something, and then something stops me, and then I'm sitting there going, why am I doing this? My entire intent for the next hour was to do this. It's like we live in this world of a constant interruption. I don't think. I think that makes it harder. I think that's why engaging candidates is hard as well. By the way, you have a little compliment over here from Michael. I like that Will tells people it's a bot up front.
You have to. You have to. I've seen people that have tried to kind of hide it, and it just doesn't work. And the other thing I think, I was talking to our marketing manager the other day that so the bot that we built for the company I'm with now didn't necessarily, and this is going to probably sound really weird to people, but it didn't have a personality. So it was from a visual point of view, it's going to sound really funny, but from a visual point of view, it just had the logo. So when you were talking to it had the logo. So with my one, it's got my face. So it's but it's almost like it's me talking, but they still know it's a bot. So it's got someone that you can relate to, or kind of relate to, and that personality kind of comes through. So that's, if I was going to rebuild it, that's what I would do. I would go, I'd put a face to it, whether it's like some sort of mascot or a person in the company. I think
something relatable.
Has to be.
Like you say, because you're utilising it for kind of recruitment, right? So if they start with a bot, they may then check you out. Then they may check out your LinkedIn profile and stuff like that. And that might be another channel that they're quite keen to kind of contact you, right? They may not admit, they may see the bot, go, okay, check you out directly. So it does have that kind of other channel effect, right, of guiding people towards you, right?
Yeah, and it does pick you up on the earlier point about kind of interruptions. I guess, say from my point of view, in terms of kind of if I was thinking a maker, that actually, you know, the bot, you know, is an interruption to people, but it's still, you know, like it's a notification, so it pings up on the phone straight away. It will you know, will interrupt them, but you know, as long as it's kind of valuable, it's got to be.
But it's reducing it for you.
Yes.
While it's handling that, which is great. Sorry, this is just too funny. I have to show this. Michael Cruz, information chaos is why our jobs are hardest, making us all like we look like we have ADHD. It's this interruption.
Yeah.
We are just like we're competing. I was thinking, I think it was at the recruitment conference when I was doing the talk, I was talking about like the advertisement that was coming at us, just literally coming out of the tube. So from the time you're standing on the tube platform, walking the aisles, coming up the escalators, like boom, 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 boom. And then you get to work and you're constantly interrupted. And here's this recruiter trying to interrupt you with a job. And you're like, bye. Like, I think our worlds are quite overwhelming. I love that. Making us look like we have ADHD.
Exactly. We've talked about kind of almost the inbound piece in terms of how you manage inbound. What about the kind of outbound when you're kind of making contact with and directly contacting, kind of candidates? Have you sort of, other than the kind of traditional channels, have you tried anything else slightly different that seems to have worked for you?
What, in terms of say like LinkedIn, Facebook, and
exactly, I mean, you know, do you have a preferred kind of platform for certain, I don't know, kind of types of kind of candidates and skills and experience, or do you think we're still quite, you know, as an industry, we're still quite limited in terms of what we can use? Is it LinkedIn Recruiter and a few others, basically?
That's the thing. Like LinkedIn Recruiter equals no competitive advantage over your other.
Exactly.
It just doesn't, because you're all looking at the same people.
Yeah. And you're also competing with for the in-house, are competing with the agency to get to the same person as well.
I'm doing that right now. That's the thing. I'm doing that right now. Like I would love to save money and not use agencies, but I have to. But if I've got time, I will source. And you know, I'll get it. But I've had quite a lot of success, like on Facebook.
Cool.
Weirdly enough, and maybe I think this comes down to probably where you spend most of your time. You know, and this kind of, I think, you know, LinkedIn's an obvious from a professional point of view. You know, you can reach out to people. You're in that kind of professional sphere, if you like. I still don't believe that you can't use humor, but I've used humor plenty of times to get people's attention. That's just me. Like maybe it works for people, maybe it doesn't, but I find it works for me. And there's a pretty good Facebook group called the Charm Offensive. Like if you got, I think I told you about it. Charm Offensive is worth checking out. Like if you're looking for creative ways to kind of reach out to people and get people's attention, that's a good place. But anyway, Facebook is good for me. And I tend to connect with more people on Facebook as well. Connect with people and talk, even talk in business and things like that. You know. So just weirdly enough, but that's probably because I spend more of my time there. If I spent more time, I don't put a lot of content out on LinkedIn, and that's probably that. And everything to do with social media is relevancy, isn't it? Right. So you have to be relevant. You have to be constant, relevant, constant. So but if you're not doing that, then it's so much harder to get up and running. So it's just something Facebook's the go-to for me.
Well,
we have. Oh, sorry.
Oh, go on, Katrina. Yeah.
No, we have a comment which I thought was quite cute. And then there's a question. So wouldn't it be refreshing if there was a bot that said, "Hi, I'm a bot. A real person can't talk to you right now, but I'm here to help. How can I assist you?" Love that, Lee. And then Michael, who is really picking your brain. Sequential contact, scheduled reach out. What do you use? Anything like Loxo?
No, I don't really use like anything. I don't really kind of use anything for like automating kind of reach out or anything like that. Actually, I'll tell it. Well, I did. So when like people were signing up to this career fair, when we had like a Google form that we were asking them to fill out, and like I was using Zapier to. So when they filled out the Google form and it was dumping the information into Google Sheets, then it was then sending them an email like 2 hours later saying, "Thanks, great to meet you. We've got this event on." So and then there was kind of then a loop back into the kind of a bot. You know, if you want to kind of attend the event, this is how you do it.
That's cool.
So yeah,
that is cool. And just one final question. I know
we're running out of time. How's it go so far?
Oh my God,
I was just curious with the unrecruitment group. Are there any? Because there are a number of people that have kind of set up Facebook groups, kind of curating a Facebook group. It would appear is quite sort of time consuming, right? You have to be very consistent with it. Are there any kind of really interesting learnings you've taken from, running your own kind of group? Are there any particular trends that have been discussed that you were kind of surprised about?
Yeah, I think often I think what like I used to get frustrated about other groups was there was a lot of repurposed content.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people there's a lot of people kind of like repurposing, like check this blog post out, and I kind of hated that in a way, because it wasn't like, nobody really got any value from that. Like, yes, you could get value if you shared like a blog post and people found it interesting. That's cool. But I think what I was trying to do is kind of push on the more original content. So if we are going to talk like use the word hacks, then let's try within this space, kind of keep it original and like share stuff that's working. And probably one of the hardest things for me is to keep up with it. I think when you've got like, it's probably going to sound like I've got kind of making excuses, but day job, family, and then you've got to then like come up with content. Now, so that's what I'm going to do. I've got the video plan and things like that. So it's hard kind of generating that, constantly trying to generate that content, think of something. And sometimes you also, like on the flip side, you also think, are people going to be interested in this? Sometimes you talk yourself out of posting something. You think, are people be interested in this? Haven't they heard people before? It could be anything.
It's funny though, sometimes it is not posting often works quite well as well. So NLL Speaking for All group, which is only really small, and it's so ad hoc when we make a post, but we get really high engagement when we do. And I think it's because they're so rare rather than, I'm in some groups and it's like 40 posts a day or something ridiculous. And I'm just like, I never look because it's too overwhelming.
It gets lost in the stream as well. It just gets lost in the stream.
Yeah.
We're going to spend time searching that group for something specific.
It's true. So are there any final things that you'd like to say if we just left you with, 1 minute to go and you feel like I haven't said something I wanted to say?
No,
other than come join my group.
Come join the group. Come join the group. There will be video content on there. I promise. I'm going to do it. To share what I've learned. But I think with technology and hacks, certainly on the technology side of things, there still has to be the human element. Like people are so worried about the kind of technology taking over. But the bottom line is, you still need that human. Even right now, right now, you definitely need the human. But I think
I'm still convinced in 20 years' time we'll still need the human. But that's
I think
just
you do.
me.
You always will. You always will, because they're not. They're building like AI, for instance. They're building AI to kind of for repeatable data, but they're not building it for like the kind of from an emotional state or a kind of if that then it's not there, and they haven't. Maybe the people, somebody's thought about it somewhere, but they're not. It's more on kind of big data and like repetitive data. That's kind of like where it is right now. But it still needs the human to be able to kind of, evolve to kind of make sense of that. And,
and if go on, man. Yeah, I mean, I completely agree.
Right.
So,
well, thank you very much. Well, sorry.
Thanks,
oh yeah, I missed. You were going to say, how do they get in touch with you? How can they spam your inbox with those photos?
Exactly. And if they want to meet you in person, right? You're at Disrupt HR next Tuesday.
Tuesday night,
Yeah,
December 3rd.
Tuesday night. Meet Will in person.
Meet in person. Yeah.
December Disrupt HR is just so much fun. I always get mega emotional because I thank my sponsors for the year of support as well. So it's like it's always a special one, the December one. Plus we're in this ridiculously funky venue. It's going to be a hoot. So come. Because you've been before, you know how crazy it is. It's good fun.
It's cool.
So thank you so much for sharing your expertise.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me.
And whereabouts can they find you online, and apart from LinkedIn, Facebook, and they can apply? Yeah, Google Will plus Christmas beard, and you'll find them.
That's it. Yeah, all over the web. Definitely.
It's the silly season. I think it's the time to share that. So you've done your search. Have we managed to get a guest for next week? I can't remember if we have or we haven't. We might do our special thank you. Have we? Okay. Yeah, we might do our little show about Hope for Justice next week. We've been talking about doing that.
Okay, that'd be really, really cool, actually. Let's do that. That's 100% logged in. Let's do that.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
Let's see about recruiters paying it forward and stuff like that. So
yeah, that'd be wicked.
Anyway, thank you. It's been incredibly No, so I can't answer that. Sorry, Colin. I'll answer you in text by minute. It's been a very chatty show as well. So thank you for those who actually should be off eating turkey and not chatting to us. But thank you for doing so. And thank you, Will, for all of that wisdom. And of course, my gorgeous co-host, Glenn. And we shall see you all next week at 10 a.m. Eastern and 3 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time.
Greenwich Mean Time. Yeah. Not
Will's like, why
time.
does she get excited about that? It's because I always call it London time because I'm so rude. Very reverent. But yes, so we shall see you all next week. So thank you, guys. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.